Excerpt from Invasion of the Pythons. Introduction. Slogging through ankle-deep water in Florida Everglades, the scientists approach their target. Suddenly, one of the team pounces and grabs the tail of a huge snake. Another researcher lunges and grabs the snake from behind its head. Others quickly join the wrestling match between humans and the 16-foot, 150-pound Burmese python. The python finally tires and they haul it back to the lab for study. The scientists win this time. A bigger battle is underway, though, because Burmese pythons aren't even supposed to be in Florida. These large snakes are native to the jungles and marshy grasslands of India and other parts of South Asia. What are they doing in Florida? Who invited that guy? For millions of years, the movement of animals and plants was limited by natural barriers. Mountain ranges and deserts separated habitats, so species could not spread. Oceans were especially difficult to cross. That changed as transportation improved. By the 1800s, many humans moved to new lands, bringing familiar livestock and plant seeds with them. Sometimes animals, rats, lizards, dogs, and cats crawled onto ships and were carried across the sea. Today, people move farther and faster than ever before. Whether by human design or by accident, the other species move as well. In their native lands, species usually have competition and predators to keep their numbers in check. If their new home lacks these challenges, a new species may multiply and take over, thereby becoming an invasive species. Kudzu vines from Japan, for example, have choked out other plants in southern eastern United States. On the island of Guam, the brown tree snake has wiped out much of the bird population. As other native species lose a familiar source of food or shelter, the entire ecosystem can suffer. No one knows for sure how Burmese pythons got into the Everglades ecosystem. The first invaders may have escaped from Florida pet shops, or maybe some pet owners released their pythons when they grew too big to care for. Once the snakes got loose, they thrived in the heat and humidity, hiding in the tangled underbrush and gobbling up other animals. The invasion of the pythons was underway. Threats by the thousands. The first Burmese pythons was reported in the Everglades in 1979. Another 16 years passed before the next one was found. Since 2000, though, python reports have grown more and more common. When a nest of python eggs was discovered, it confirmed what wildlife biologists feared. Burmese pythons were breeding in the wild. Pythons reproduce rapidly. Females usually lay more than 50 eggs a year, and within 3 years of hatching, young pythons themselves are ready to breed. The result in the Everglades has been a population explosion as year after year, more pythons lay eggs and more pythons survive. Number 1, Part A. What conclusion can best be drawn about why Burmese pythons shouldn't be found in Florida? A. Burmese pythons cannot live long in the Everglades ecosystem. B. Florida is not the Burmese python's native habitat. C. Humans are destroying their environment. D. Scientists have already captured most of them. Part B. Which sentence from the passage best supports your answer in Part A? A. The python finally tires and they haul it back to the lab for study. B. A bigger battle is underway, though, because Burmese pythons aren't even supposed to be in Florida. C. These large snakes are native to the jungles and marshy grasslands of India and other parts of South Asia. D. What are they doing in Florida? Number 2. Read the sentence. A bigger battle is underway, though, because Burmese pythons aren't even supposed to be in Florida. What does the use of the word battle show the reader? A. That scientists are at war with the pythons. B. That people want to get rid of all Burmese pythons in the Everglades. C. That the presence of Burmese pythons in the Everglades is a big problem. D. That researchers don't like to study Burmese pythons. Number 3. When was the first python reported in the Everglades? A. 1800s. B. 1979. C. 1985, D. 2000. Number 4, Part A. What conclusion can be drawn about the author's point of view? A. He does not like Burmese pythons. B. He is a scientist who studies Burmese pythons. C. He thinks Burmese pythons are an interesting addition to the Everglades ecosystem. D. He believes invasive species are harmful to native environments. Number 5, Part B. Underline the sentence from the text that best supports your answer in Part A. No one knows for sure how Burmese pythons got into the Everglades ecosystem. The first invaders may have escaped from Florida pet shops, or maybe some pet owners released their pythons when they grew too big to care for. Once the snakes got loose, they thrived in the heat and humidity, hiding in the tangled underbrush and gobbling up other animals. The invasion of the pythons was underway.